So let's talk now about how to set up an effective training session for the U6 age group. At this age group, players are developing, there's U5, their players are at ages of 5. So cognitively, they're developing really fast. They're like sponges. They're taking up everything. Um, so it's important that when you set up your practices that you come prepared, that you know exactly what you want to do before you get there for the practice to be effective. So in our big picture scene, know what equipment you need. Have your training set up. So take a look at our flyer that we've set up. Is have a look at your preparation. What exercise do you want to do for the warm-up? What's your topic for the day? What exercise do you want to do for your technical, your tactical, and then your end game? What players do you want to play? So you can create your players right from the start. How many players are there? Create your teams right away. As a player show up, I do one simple fact that I kind of set up. I set up a possession game. I set up 4 squares right off the bat. As the players arrive, they go into the squares, and it's a 4v1 game. 1 defender in the middle, 4 players on the outside. Just a possession game. When they win the ball or the ball goes out, that player comes out. Whoever lost the ball goes in the middle. It's an easy game of possession, teaching the players it's relaxed. You want to be just, they're having fun, they're talking about their day, what they did at school, how the day is going. And that's the kind of a 10 minutes before practice starts, the players are gathering. It gives you time to talk to the parents, the kids, the players are organized, they're doing an event, and you want to train them that once they come to practice, they go into the square and they start playing this possession game. You have, depending on how many players you have, I usually do 3 boxes. If you have 12 players, then at least you have 5, 5, and 5. If you have, or you can go 6, 2 boxes, 6 in one, 6 in the other. If you have just 8 players, then do 2 boxes, then it's 3v1, 3v1 in that aspect. And once they come in, they just go in there. Once everyone is there, you let them play for a few minutes. And it's 10 minutes is kind of what I look at as the time frame there. The next part you wanted to set up is what equipments you need. We've designed everything simply for this age group that you need cones and you need player vest and goals. Most important, you need players. Depending on where your field is at, how much space you have. At this age group, you can get away with a field size of 30 by 30 for a whole training session. Really logistically challenging, but you could do it. So we've used ours basically a bigger space, half a field, and I set up the exercises through the whole course of the field, and we just rotate our position as we go through. As we finish one exercise, I take that off, and we go to the next area. As we finish the exercise with those cones, we take that off, go to the next tactical aspects. When we finish that, I take that out, and then we rotate, and then we have the end game. That makes it easier for you, for a coach, to plan out, so you have everything already pre-built before the players get there. The next aspect is, in this age group, make sure you have at least 3, even better, 4 different colors of vest that the players can put on. Because at some of our training exercise, you have teams of 3. Sometimes you might have teams of 4 playing on the field or doing exercises that you rotate. And it makes it easier for the players to realize, I'm with the blue team, I'm with the yellow team, and you can send them that way. Next point is make sure you have cones with different colors. I use this to ensure that when you set up your passing exercise or your warm-up exercise, your technical exercise, it's easier to tell the players, pass from the blue cone to the orange cone. They look down, they see it, they pass the other way. Keeping in mind that this age group, the players are learning what the right foot is, what the left foot is, what the colors are. They're learning so much new words that we as adults take for granted. So we want to make sure that they're as simple as possible. We're teaching those and working within those limits. So let's talk now about the training session that we've set up for you, one complete training session through the day. So you can take a look at what a U5 training would look like. We've done it for a 60-minute training session. I recommend for the U5, for the 5-year-old age group, so the U6, where the players are 5 years old, keep it at an hour. You start out with that 10 minutes where the players come in. We do about 15 minutes for the warm-up. We do another 15 minutes for the technical training aspect component. And then we do another 15 minutes for the tactical aspect component that we're going to do. And then I always try to recommend doing 20 minutes for the end game. So those are the 4 components that we'll go through in our setup of our training session. Let's start with the warm-up exercise. The warm-up exercise that we've set up for today, keep in mind our topic for the day was improving the first touch and attacking into the space. So we've set up a passing exercise where one player passes to another player. The distance can be varied. In this case, we've done it just 10 steps, so 10 yards. At this age, they're strong enough, they should be able to make a 10-yard pass. It might be rolling slowly. If they can't, then you make it closer. And the idea behind this exercise is player passes with the inside of the foot to the other player receives the ball, passes it back to this player, runs and follows their pass, and the drill continues. Your coaching points in this now become how they receive the ball and how they pass the ball. So we start out with receiving the ball and passing with the inside of the right foot. So the right foot passes it here, goes to the other player, they receive it, and they pass it back with their right foot. You can do that. We've set it up there doing it for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. We take a minute pause. In this minute pause, then we talk about stretching. So we start introducing the players on stretching the quads, stretching the hamstrings, not more than a minute. The reason why we add this also in there is we're going to transition now. The second component is then passing with the left foot. So then you explain the exercise again, explain that they're passing now with the left foot to the other side, running across. They receive the ball with the left foot with the inside, pass it back with the left foot, run back over. And you see gradually this will improve over time. That's the second component. After that 2 minutes, you take a break again. 1 minute, explain the stretching routine with them, go over a few stretches, start back up again. Now we change the component. Now we're saying we receive with the outside of the foot, but we're passing with the inside of the foot back. So they go through this movement, receive with the outside of the right foot, pass back with the inside of the right foot, run to the other side of the line, and the routine continues. After 2 minutes, make a quick stop, stretch again. Now we change the exercise, passing now with the left foot, receiving with the outside of the left foot. So now we've gone through the first component, the warm-up component. In that transition that they go back and forth, let them make mistakes, let them trial. Talk to them not when they're in the exercise, talk to them when they come out of the exercise. And get them used to explaining topics to them, how to improve, let them go through it, explain to them if they did it right. If they do something right, compliment them right away. Positive reinforcement is so important at this age group. Make sure that you communicate, make sure you tell them everything positive, the heads up, make sure that they're so rewarded for every positive interaction or every positive action that they do on the field. Now we go to the second aspect, the technical aspect of our training for today on improving the first touch and attack into the space. So we now set up a 1v1 session where the defender is passing the ball out. The forward now receives the ball. We've worked on that, the warm-up exercise. So now you can tell them, hey, receive with the inside, receive with the outside. However you feel comfortable, attack the space. And now you can introduce their first dribble. Are they cutting with the outside? Are they cutting towards the inside? Dribble again towards the goal and have a shot. We've set it up where we have a keeper in the goal, but the keeper can be just another player. In this routine, it could be the player stands at goal, the defender passes to the attacker attacks the goal, scores, they stay in goal, the keeper comes out, goes back to the next line. So now you have a transitional flow of practice without any breaks. Everyone gets a chance to play in goal, everyone gets a chance to play defense, everyone gets a chance to attack. And you as a coach get the opportunity to talk to 3 different positions at the same time in this tactical exercise. You can talk to the keeper, but explain to them where you want them to move. You can talk to the defenders, how you want them to defend, how they press the ball, do they drop back. Don't just kick the player, don't push the player, you're trying to win the ball. So those are the communication ideas. You're trying to tell them drop back a little bit. On the attacking side, you explain to the forwards, to the attackers, attack the space, dribble by the player, don't be passive, don't turn around, don't be afraid, get confident and just go and attack. You can do it. And that's the mentality we're trying to get to them. So after this exercise, then we can transition to the next aspect of this is the tactical aspect of this training. In the tactical aspect, we've set up let's take a drink break. Players, all of us run over, take a quick drink break. You run over with them, they take all the cones with them, boom, second field is cleared off. So let's talk now about the third component, the tactical component of the training session. So in the tactical component today, we've set up a 2v2 possession game. And since you already put the players in a vest from the beginning of the practice, you just have to explain to them it's a possession game, 2 against 2. You can go to each box and explain it, or you can explain loudly to each box and let them start playing On the first day you do this exercise, you need a little bit more explaining. On the second day, obviously they know it's a possession game, they've seen it. Once they hear the word possession game, they know, we're keeping the ball away from the other team. Now you can walk around in each group and start explaining to the players individually your coaching points. We've set it up where there's 3 different games, and we rotate the blue players after the time allotted. So if your time's 2 minutes, every 2 minutes, when it's done, you blow your whistle. Blue team rotates right, so every blue team rotates to the right. You have a new game. They're playing 2 different opponents now against each other. Keeps it more exciting, keeps it fresher for the players. As you walk around now, you can address your coaching points. How do you want the 2 players to defend? But let them play, let them be creative. This aspect is more just to see how they flow, how they defend 2 players together. Can you get them to identify each other, to say, okay, we're working as a unit? This age, it won't happen, but you can try to get them to start seeing it, when to go double team. Better to focus that they're running and they always have to defend 1 player. So not 2 players run to the ball, that 1 player marks another player, 1 player is responsible for the other player. And that way you start creating the idea, this concept for them that we don't just run after the ball constantly, that we're responsible for a player and at the same time watching what the ball is doing. So if the ball is right next to me, I can win it. If it's too far away, I don't run over there to get it because my player is here that I'm defending. Hope you enjoy that in that aspect, the tactical. After the tactical exercise, give everyone a break. They would play off the field, teach the players how to pick up the cones. You walk over with them, get a quick drink, bring them back over. Now you have the end game. At the end game, we've set it up that it's 6 against 6, so 2 defenders, 3 midfielders, 1 forward. This is a simple formation. You can do other formations if you want, but in our situation, we've set this up this way. You already created your teams from the warm-up phase, so now the players know who's on what team. They come back out, and you start the end game. Important things to try to realize. Now you can start your coaching points. Okay, I always say, get the players to drop back on goal kicks. Why do you do this? It gives the attacking team a chance to build up out of the back, which is what you want. They're 5 years old. You have to give them opportunities to try to get creative. On the other part, it gives your defensive team, you can train them that when you say drop back, they know, okay, we drop back to a certain position. And then we start defending from that position forwards. So now they know positional play. Now they start understanding which roles that they play and who's at which role that we do. 10 minutes, first half, take a halftime break. Everyone runs over to the sideline, gets a quick drink. We come back over. Second half begins. Same thing, let them go through the process. Just like in a game, you stand on the sideline, you're watching them play, you're talking to them constantly. You can talk to individual players, you can walk around the field and do your coaching points. What do you want to talk to? Do you want to talk to the defenders, how they should push up and not just stand back in front of the goal when the ball is on the other side? Do you want to talk to the midfielders that when they attack, that they have to balance and come back? Not all 3 of them run forwards with the ball, but maybe 1 of them stay. Same thing with the defenders. How do you create this balance? So you're doing that in the end game now at the end. When the practice is done, time's up, tell the players pick up the cones. Everyone runs over to the sideline, they're excited. Practice is done. You've successfully completed your U6 training with 5-year-olds, which is the most amazing group to work with because it's new to them. Every exercise, every body movement, they're learning new things constantly every day. So challenge them a little bit, but keep in mind that there is a limit to their mental capacity of what they can take, the physical capacity of what they can do physically. They can't do so many tricks yet. They can't do the step overs, but be positive. Reward them on every positive action that they do. Get them used to these positive reinforcements because you want to create players that are more positive with each other. They don't criticize each other constantly, but motivate each other and pick each other up through the whole practices to say, hey, you did a great job, it's okay, bad pass, next one you'll get it, pick your head up, let's go, And those are the attitudes you want the players to learn. So that's the explanation of a 60-minute training session that we've created just for you to see the first flow of a training session, how a 60-minute session would look. Later on now we'll explain the individual components. We've set up 5 different warm-up exercises for you, and we'll go into and explain those 5 warm-up exercises. We'll then go and explain the 5 technical training sessions that we've set up for you that you can see and use, and also the 5 tactical training sessions that we've set up with. The combination of these 5 exercises you can do individually and combine them gives you so many different variations of exercises that you could do, or training sessions that you can do when you do different variations of it. So we'll talk about that individually and see how you put things together, and more in depth into the 12 sessions, or the 5 sessions, or the 15 sessions, or how many sessions combinations you can make out of these sessions that we're training ideas that we're sharing with you. I hope you've enjoyed this session, this explanation of a 60-minute training session for a U6 age group, so players of the ages of 5. If you'd like to take or see more training exercises similar to this, visit our Ask Coach Matthew Udemy course site at the link below. And please don't forget, like this video, subscribe to receive more weekly updates. Thank you for watching, Coach Matthew.